Okay, small apologies in advance for the tiny human noises in the background. You know, gotta keep the toddler entertained. So, anyway, to get started on these transformation, like transforming the shape of a word, I usually start with inserting WordArt, and I will use this WordArt because it doesn't have any shadows or reflections or bevels. All you need to do is change the fill color, which isn't a hard thing to change. So I'll start with this one. And I will change the text. And then I will highlight and change it to a black fill and a black outline. And you can remove the outline later, I probably will. Change it to your desired font. And then I'll make it a little bigger just for the sake of seeing. Okay. So, I'm going to remove the outline because the letters look kind of close together. You don't have to do this, it's just kind of preference. Just adds a little more space here. Oops. I'll show you if I undo it, there's the outline and without the outline. So it kind of gives it a little more space between letters. To get those strange shapes, I highlight the WordArt box and then I go to text effects and transform, and then you can choose any of these warping patterns to make them a strange shape. For example, the little in Little Dude's Dad is flat across the top and swayed along the bottom, so that's like this one, inflate bottom. And I will click that, and then I'm going to change the width of this to 7.5, and the height, I don't know, 2.75. You just kind of, that's just, you can play with that till you find something that you think looks fine. And so that's it for little. And then I'm gonna just copy this box so I don't have to alter a new WordArt style every time, since this is the same style I'm using. I'll just change the text effect. So I'm gonna copy and paste this. You can click in the box to change the text. And then this one is, if you click out of the box, you can see that it's still the flat across the top and inflated along the bottom. So we're going to change that to where it is concave on the top and the bottom, or deflated on the top and the bottom. I don't know what they call it here. That would be this one, deflate. So click on that. We'll move it up until we think it's close enough. And then I'm gonna align this center as well. I usually align them all to center so I know they're all lined up correctly. And then same type of thing to get the last word. Click on your text box again, or your WordArt box, copy and paste. Oops. Paste. And then we'll just change the text and change the text wrap. Not the text wrap, the text warping. Okay. Ooh. Sorry, this keeps kicking around the screen. And so we're going to change this to, I would assume it's called inflate top, maybe. So go to transform and look for where there's one that is flat across the bottom and inflated across the top. And then again, I will just drag it upward until it looks like the space between the top and the bottom is about even. I don't know. There's not a great way to measure that other than to just eyeball it. And then align it to center. And that's it. You can save this I'll move this out of the way so you can see. So there's your text, and you can save this. I'll save it as a Word document. So that's a Word document. You can save things as PDFs from Microsoft Word. If you just go to Save As and change it here, you can change it to a PDF, but I don't always have great luck with that. Sometimes it like jumbles my letters and moves things around where I don't want them moved, and that frustrates me. So what I usually do to save it as a PDF, on my keyboard there's a button on the top right that says PRT space SC, which means print screen, which basically takes a picture of what is on your screen. So what I will do is move my cursor. Well, let me see. Sorry, ignore that for a second. I'm gonna move because I don't want to take a picture of the cursor on the screen. I'm gonna come down here and move the cursor so it doesn't show. And what I usually try to do is I usually hide my taskbar at the top here just to add more space for the screen, because the larger you can make your text or picture that you are screenshotting, print screening, the better it does when you blow it up in another document. It looks less grainy. So this is about the biggest I can get it here. So I'm going to go ahead and move my arrow so it is off the text that I want to keep, and I click print screen, and then I'm going to open, you can open your ruler back, I'm going to open a new document, and then when you print screen something, it automatically just puts it on your clipboard. And so when you open a new document, you can just paste, and it'll paste it there. And so now that it's pasted here, I'm going to crop off all this extra screen image stuff that I don't need. And I usually just crop it in as close as I can without cutting anything off. Like so. And then click crop to save that crop, and then I will blow it back up to about what I had before. So I had 7.5 inches wide, and it'll alter the height as I do. So I will align it back to center. Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. Grr. Move my cursor. No, excuse me. I'm going to set the margins a little wider. That might be what's keeping me from setting this to center. Okay, so I'm going to change maybe this to, to tight. Let's try that. And then, yeah, align to center, just to be sure. So, and once it's in here, this is not editable because this is an image, so you'd have to make sure in your other document that the spelling is correct and all of that, because once it's screenshot, you can't edit the text. So simply to save it as a PDF. And so now I will save as a PDF, and it won't move, it won't jumble my text or anything of the sort. And so it'll save it and open it as a PDF once it is saved. Right, so here it is as a PDF. And so that's it. And I would just exit this, and I'm not going to save this one as a Word document since I have it as a PDF. So I'm not going to save. Now, to make the other ones, without having to do this all over again, I will just exit out of this, and then I saved it to my desktop. So this is it. I'm just going to copy and paste this document and then change the text. Sorry, tiny human. And so this one is going to be Dad's little dude. Whoops. And because this is the Word document, I can edit this. So I'm going to change this text to Dad's. I'm going to click in this one and change it to little. And then change this bottom one to dude. Like so, and it is easy as that. So you would just follow the same process. I'm going to move my cursor to the bottom, and then by double clicking, I just double click down here to move the cursor. Again, you want to make it as large as possible before you screenshot or print screen, and then open a new document, paste, crop. You can make your ruler stay if you want. Almost cropped it a little too far at the bottom. I think it should be okay. And then again, maybe change your margins. Your margins to narrow, and then whoops, not that. Change the width to 7.5. You want to try to be as consistent as possible. Crop them all as close as possible to the same cropping, just to avoid obvious differences in printing on your shirt or whatever you're going to print on. And so I will save this as a PDF. I'm going to save it to the desktop with the other ones. You can save wherever you want. Okay. Alright. And then remember, we don't need to save this document because it's not editable. And then, last but not least, you do want to save this. So we've got Dad's little dude, little dude's dad. What is happening? Like so, and then we're gonna make Mama's little dude. No, little dude's mama. So let's copy this one. Copy. And paste. This will be little dude's mama. Okay. So we will change this to mama. Simple as that. And then remove all of this, screenshot, save it as a PDF. Whoops, let's move the cursor.